I don't know about you, but my era of mindless grocery spending is officially over. Today, I'm taking you inside the grocery store with me to share with you 10 things I'm not going to be buying in 2026 and what I will be buying or making instead. Let's get inside. So, over the past year, I've realized that our grocery budget was getting eaten up, not by big splurges, but just by a bunch of convenience decisions I didn't even remember making. None of them were bad necessarily, they just, over time, they added up. So this year I'm being much more intentional about what I am buying. So not all of these swaps are about making food easier. In fact, some of them are going to make life less convenient, but they do free up real money, and that's money that can get redirected towards things that actually matter for our family. If this kind of thinking about groceries and budgets is helpful to you, then I invite you to subscribe. It just means you'll see more content like this. All right, let's get into the swaps. So the first thing I'm not going to be buying in 2026 is shredded cheese. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but shredded cheese is consistently more expensive than block cheese. And beyond the price, block cheese actually melts better and it usually has fewer additives. So for us, it's just one of those small switches that saves money and gives better quality. The same idea applies to crumbled feta. You're paying more for something that's already been processed, and it limits how you can use it. So buying feta in a block is cheaper per ounce, it lasts longer, and it gives you more flexibility in terms of how you use it. Another thing that I am going to be buying less of in 2026 is bagged salads. So bagged salads are one of those things that feel like a good idea in the moment, but they're really expensive for what you get. So this bag here is almost $5, whereas a head of romaine lettuce is like 99 cents. And more often than not, they end up going bad before we finish them. So this is really and truly about buying food that we actually use. Boxed broth is another one of those things that already I don't really buy very much of. It doesn't seem very expensive on the surface. I mean, this one's under $2, but if you're already roasting a chicken, you probably have carrots, onions, and celery at home. It's almost no extra cost to make your own. And the depth of flavor you get from homemade broth is just so much better. And it's not as hard as you think. I have a video on how to make homemade bone broth that I will link in the description below if you want to try it. So another thing I'm thinking about doing is switching from canned beans to dried beans. So here in Texas, it's almost New Year's, which means everyone's having black-eyed peas. This this 15-ounce can of black-eyed peas is $1.47, and it's about a cup and a half of beans. But if you look at this pound of dried beans, it is $1.66, and if you cook this up, you get about 3 of these. So the dried beans are definitely a much better value. It's one of the things that adds up over time. I love Greek yogurt as a high quality protein source, but at $4.95 for this 32-ounce container, it really adds up quickly. So at one point, I was pretty good about making Greek yogurt. If you buy a gallon of milk for $7.48 and then make it yourself, you can get about 4 times as much yogurt. So it's not something I do all the time, but it's something that I'm going to revisit doing in 2026. Let me know in the comments if a tutorial on how to make your own Greek yogurt is something you'd like to see. It's one of those things, actually, it's not as hard as you might think. I just haven't done it in a long time, but I'm thinking about starting again. So let me know if it's something you want to see. I had stopped buying salad dressing years ago, but over the past year, I noticed it creeping back in again, just out of convenience. But the thing is, most store-bought dressings they use highly inflammatory oils, and when you look for better quality options, they're actually pretty expensive. Making your own is simple, it's cheaper, it tastes better, and I actually have a video on that, which I will link in the description below. Another thing I'm not buying this year is name brand pasta sauce. So I love Rao's. The ingredients are great, but at $6.88 for a 24-ounce jar, it's not something that I regularly buy anymore, especially when the store brand version here is less than half the price. And honestly, once it's heated and served, most people can't tell the difference. So fun fact, I recently made spaghetti dinner with the EGB brand, and I had my family ask me if it was Rao's and ask for seconds. So $2.33 as opposed to $6.88. Yes, please. Another thing I'm not buying this year is chicken breast. So I usually buy our proteins at Costco because the prices are so much better, but you'll get the idea. So this chicken breast here is $5.39 a pound versus this whole chicken is $1.67 per pound. My husband prefers dark meat anyway. And with the whole chicken, you also get bones, which means broth, like we talked about earlier. So this is definitely the better value. The last thing I am not buying this year is shopping on autopilot. I'm being much more intentional about our grocery dollars so that we can get our money working for us this year. I'd love to know, what is one grocery item that you are reconsidering this year? Not because it's bad or wrong necessarily, but just because you want to be more intentional with your grocery dollars, just because you want to keep more of your cash and get it working for you. I'd love to know. Drop it down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.